Welcome today to a breath practice. Now, when we open to our breath, everything can change. When I've given treatments to clients in the past and I place my hands on their back, I always notice that there's a real tension and tightness and they're not breathing properly. People who are doing a lot of sedentary work, people who are not doing enough exercise and yogic practices, people who come to me because they need a treatment at the time, they're really not breathing very well. Their breathing is shallow. I don't feel much movement in the ribs and the intercostal muscles. And when we don't breathe properly, it can lead to all sorts of illnesses. It stops our blood circulation, we don't process our emotions properly, it makes us anxious, and it can lead to more serious issues. So this mini practice is just about giving you a moment to really check in and really experience your breath going in all the way down. Now, if you put your hands down into the small of your belly, when we say breathe into the belly, it doesn't actually mean that you're breathing all the way into the belly, right? You're breathing into your lungs expand. This pushes and makes your diaphragm, which is normally a dome, flatten. This flattening of the diaphragm then pushes out your belly and the organs. So that is literally what happens when you breathe in and your ribs and your lungs and your whole thoracic area expands. What's happening is that it's pushing down, and that's what makes your belly go out. So we're going to breathe into here, we're going to breathe into here, we're going to breathe into here, okay? So inhale, placing your hands here, feeling your belly rise underneath your hands. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And as you're doing this breath, I'd like you to imagine the sound of your breath going in and out, like the sound of the waves, the sound of the ocean lapping up to shore and coming back out again. That's why I love sitting by the ocean so much. One of the reasons why, to hear the sound of the waves just going in and out, especially with the ions and everything else, your whole brain just relaxes. Even if your breath was a bit shallow, it starts to ease. You start to feel this openness, this ease and this softness. So breathing in all the way into your belly. And exhale. Okay, now move your hands up. Move them to the base of your ribs where your diaphragm is. And now I invite you to breathe in. And this time get a sense of the whole of your center of your body expanding. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now can you imagine, just like when you're breathing into a balloon and it slowly expands, if when you inhale, although you have your hands here, you can start to notice how the breath doesn't just expand here. Notice how your breath travels, moves and expands right into the top part of your body as well. See if you can notice that when you're breathing in. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. So that was diaphragmatic breathing. Now, if we place our hands, now whatever feels easier for you, you can do it crossed hand, but if you do it with your hands open, you will have more of an expansion here. And I invite you to breathe in and get a sense and feel your breath moving underneath in your whole collarbone area. See if you can feel the movement under your hands when you're breathing in out. Okay, so breathe in and out. And as you're doing this in and out, see if you can notice your breath expanding to all the top part of you, the front of you, the edges of your shoulders, the back of you, the backs of your shoulders, your shoulder blades. See if you can sense how the breath is expanding into all those different parts of you. Now with this expanded awareness, I invite you to try again here and see if you can notice this time when you inhale, not just your belly opening, rising, feeling how the breath is moving through all the different parts of you. So feeling the subtle shifts of your body connecting, because we're all connected, even if it's just our lungs literally that expand with our in-breath. It connects to all the different parts of us. In fact, every time we breathe in, that breath ripples through all the fluids in our cells. See if you can notice this time your breath going all the way in, your belly rising, but see if you can notice how the different parts of you around are also expanding. See if you can notice the sensation of your breath expanding in your pelvis. Okay? Now, what I haven't said, because I've needed to do it, is that if you need to soften in your knees to take off any pressure or strain, do so, okay? This is not an endurance test, okay? Somatics is about being more aware of what our body needs and tending to it in the moment. When we are more somatically aware, we don't over-push ourselves, we don't give ourselves injuries, because we listen in, we notice when our body's saying to stop, okay? So as you're doing this, imagine there's an invisible thread that goes up to the ceiling, okay? So, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Moving hands up to under your ribs. Inhale. Exhale. And see if you can notice this time. When you inhale and you're inhaling and focusing on this area, notice now how the sensation of your breath changes, and you can feel it expanding into the whole of you. So you feel it expanding below you and you feel it expanding above you, okay? So let's try again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now I've actually just noticed some very slight tingling in my feet because I'm focusing so much on the energy of my breath. Just sharing this in case you might be feeling some tingling too, or just some different sensations that you don't normally notice because you're just listening more intently. Okay, finally here. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Did you notice this time how the breath moves and travels through your body when you focus on this area? Okay, this time we're going to do an inhalation and we're going to inhale here, we're going to expand here, here and here. So we're actually doing yogic 3-part breathing. Okay, it's called, I don't know, it's got different names, but classically from yoga, it's full yogic breath. Okay, so are you ready? Inhale. And then exhale in reverse. So releasing from here, from here, from here, okay? So I'm just using my hands to demonstrate. You don't have to move your hands as you're doing this. You can keep your hands here, you can even keep them down, but I find it helps to put your hands on your body to really, to have that touch. Okay, so ready, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Relax, take a few normal breaths. And as you're taking these breaths, I invite you to just perhaps close your eyes so that you can really get a sense of your internal walls and notice, has anything shifted? Are there any different sensations? Is there anything that you're noticing? Is there anything that feels different within you? I'd love to hear how you got on with the exercise. Drop a comment, join the community, message me, DM me on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear how you got on with this.